Chapter 1: The Night She Disappeared. She was there on a Tuesday. Gone by Wednesday. Not gradually, not with a conversation, not with an explanation. One day Vera was my fiancée. The next day her number was disconnected. Her apartment was empty. Her social media accounts were gone. Every thread between us cut at the same time, like someone had planned it. Like someone had been planning it. 2 years together, 18 months of those years engaged. I had bought the ring on a Thursday in October, a simple ring. She had said she did not want something flashy. I had believed her. I had believed most things she told me. That was the specific stupidity of loving someone. You received their words and stored them as facts. You did not audit them. The ring was in my desk drawer. I had been carrying it to give back to her. Then there was nobody to give it back to. Then the drawer closed. Then 8 months passed and I stopped thinking about the drawer. Stopped thinking about it. Not the same as forgetting. The first week I called every number I had for her. Dead. I messaged every platform. Blocked. I contacted 2 of her friends. They said they did not know where she was. Their eyes said something different. I stopped after the first week. There was a specific moment when chasing someone became humiliating. I found it at day 8. I stopped at day 8. I went back to work. The company had 40 employees and a product launch in 6 weeks and problems that required solving. I solved them. The launch happened. The numbers were good. The board was satisfied. 6 weeks of problem solving was better than 8 months of wondering. I chose problem solving. Month 3, I met Nora. Month 8, Vera walked back in. Not my life, my office. Specifically, my interview room. Specifically, the chair across from mine. Chapter 2. The company needed a new head of communications. I was doing 3 jobs, mine and 2 others. The product launch had exposed gaps in the team that needed filling. I interviewed 11 people in 2 weeks. All 11 were competent. None of them were right. Competent was easy to find. Right was different. Right meant someone who understood what the company was trying to say before they started saying it. Someone who did not need the brief explained 3 times. Nora came on a Thursday afternoon. Pale skin, red hair, gray eyes that moved around my office before they settled on me, not rudely, the way someone moved through a new space when they were genuinely interested in what it said about the person who occupied it. She sat down, put her portfolio on the table. Did not open it. Interesting, every other candidate had opened the portfolio immediately, showed me the work before I asked. Nora left it closed. She was going to let the conversation decide whether the work was relevant. 40 minutes. She asked better questions than she answered. She wanted to know what the company was trying to become, not what it currently was, what it was trying to become. The gap between those 2 things was where the communications work lived. I told her the honest version, not the PR version, the honest one. She listened, made 2 notes, looked at the ceiling for a moment. Then she told me exactly what the problem was and exactly how she would approach it. She was right about the problem. Her approach was not what I would have done. It was better than what I would have done. I offered her the role before the portfolio was opened. She said she needed to think about it. Nobody had ever said that. 11 candidates before her. All 11 had said yes before I finished the sentence. Nora said she needed to think about it. She called 2 days later, accepted, conditions attached, specific conditions, about scope and autonomy, and the right to disagree with me in meetings when the disagreement was warranted. I said yes to all of them. She started the following Monday. The first month was professional, entirely professional. She was exceptionally good at her job. She did not need managing. She needed space. I gave her space. The work produced results that the board noticed within 6 weeks. Month 2, she came to my office at 7 in the evening to go over a campaign brief. I had instant noodles on my desk. She looked at the noodles, then at me. The CEO of a 40-person tech company is eating instant noodles at his desk at 7 p.m. The CEO of a 40-person tech company is doing 3 jobs. She sat down, looked at the brief, then at the noodles again. Do you have another cup? I did. I gave it to her. We worked for 2 hours. She ate half the noodles. Neither of us mentioned it. That was the first evening. There were others. The work created the proximity. The proximity created the conversation. The conversation created something else, slowly, without announcement. Month 3, I understood what was happening. Month 3, Vera sent a message. Chapter 3. The message came on a Sunday morning. A new number, not blocked. She had a new phone, a new number, 8 months of silence, and then a Sunday morning message. Hi, I know I owe you an explanation. I am sorry for disappearing the way I did. I was going through something and I handled it badly. I would like to talk if you are open to it. I read it 3 times. 8 months she had been going through something. She had handled it badly. She would like to talk. 2 years, 18 months engaged. A ring in a desk drawer. A disconnected number. A Sunday morning message. I put the phone down. Picked up the coffee. Thought about it for approximately 4 minutes. Then I replied, I am not available for that conversation. I wish you well. I sent it, put the phone face down, went back to the report I had been reading. Not anger, not the performance of moving on, actual moving on. The conversation she wanted to have was the conversation I had needed 8 months ago. I had needed it at day 1, day 2, day 8 when I stopped. I did not need it anymore. The need had been replaced by other things. By a woman who had eaten half my noodles and never mentioned it, and who disagreed with me in meetings when the disagreement was warranted. Nora called that afternoon, not about the message. She did not know about the message. She called about a campaign decision that needed resolving before Monday. We talked for 40 minutes, about work, then about other things. Then she said she was going to a bookshop and did I want to come. I went. We spent 2 hours in a bookshop. She bought 3 books. I bought 1. On the way out, she stopped at a stall outside and bought 2 cups of something warm and handed me one without asking what I wanted. It was the right thing. She had guessed correctly. She paid attention the way people paid attention when they actually cared about what they were seeing, not the performed kind, the kind that accumulated quietly over weeks until it knew things it had never been told. I walked home that evening thinking about the message. Then I stopped thinking about the message. There was nothing left to think about it. Chapter 4. The company needed a senior marketing strategist. My head of talent sent me the shortlist on a Tuesday morning, 6 names, CVs attached. I read through them the way I read everything, completely, with attention. The 4th name was Vera. I read her CV carefully. It was good. She had been building her career quietly in the 8 months, 2 short contracts, strong results, relevant experience for the role. By every objective measure, she was among the top 2 candidates on the list. I sat with the application for a long time. 3 options: remove her from the process, flag the personal history and let the talent team handle it without me, decline her application without explanation, or proceed normally, same process as any other candidate. Removing her was a personal decision dressed as a professional one. Declining without explanation was the kind of thing that created problems. Proceeding normally was the only option that was actually professional. Also, I wanted to see her face when she walked into my interview room. That last thought was honest. I did not pretend it was not there. I told my head of talent to proceed with all 6 candidates. I did not mention the personal history. I scheduled myself into the final round interviews. Then I went back to work. That evening Nora was in my office going over a campaign brief. She looked up from the brief, looked at me. You are somewhere else tonight. I am here. Your body is here, you are somewhere else. She was right. She was usually right about what she could see. I told her not everything, the outline. Fiancé, 2 years, disappeared, 8 months, CV in the shortlist. Nora listened, no expression while I talked. When I finished, she looked at the brief. Are you going to be all right doing the interview? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. She looked at me for a moment, then she went back to the brief. That was all, no drama, no interrogation, no performance of concern. Just the question, then the answer, then back to work. This was what it looked like when someone trusted you. Chapter 5. The interview was on a Thursday at 2 in the afternoon. I was in the room before she arrived. My head of talent was with me. Standard panel, 2 people, professional. The door opened. Vera walked in. She saw me at the same moment I saw her. She stopped 1 full second, a person who had been walking and then was not walking. Then she kept moving, sat down, put her portfolio on the table. She had not known. My name was not on the interview confirmation. The confirmation said panel interview with senior leadership. She had not known until this moment. She was good. The stop lasted 1 second. Then she was composed. I gave her that. It took something to compose yourself in 1 second when your past was sitting across a table with a notepad. I looked at my notepads. Thank you for coming in. We have 40 minutes. I would like to start with the campaign work from your last contract. Professional, flat, the voice I used for every interview. She answered. The answer was good, specific. The work had been real. We went through the standard questions. She answered all of them well, better than well. She was the strongest candidate on the shortlist by a significant margin. This was the uncomfortable truth. If I had not known her, she would have been an obvious hire. The work was there. The thinking was there. The experience was relevant. 30 minutes in my head of talent asked about a gap in the CV. 4 months between her last role and the first contract. Vera looked at the table for a moment, then at me. Not at my head of talent, at me. I left a personal situation abruptly. I needed time to manage the fallout. I handled the exit badly and it cost me professionally. I have learned from that. Personal situation, abruptly, handled the exit badly. She was describing what she had done to me, in the language of professional development, in an interview, across a table from the person she had done it to. I did not react. My face did not move. My pen continued across the notepad. What did you learn? The question landed in the room. My head of talent looked at me briefly. Standard follow-up question, nothing unusual about it. Vera's hands on the table moved. Slight, she controlled it quickly. That leaving without explanation is not a neutral act. It causes damage that an explanation would have prevented, regardless of the reason for leaving. She was right. She had learned the right thing. I did not know if she had learned it about us or about something else. It did not matter. The learning was the learning. The 40 minutes ended. I stood up, extended my hand across the table. Thank you for your time. We will be in touch within the week. Standard, flat, the words I used at the end of every interview. Vera took my hand. She held it 1 second longer than professional. I let go at the standard time. She left. My head of talent looked at me across the empty table. That was the strongest candidate. Yes. Are there any conflicts of interest I should know about? Yes, I will document them and recuse myself from the final decision. You make the call. She nodded, wrote something down, professional, clean. I went back to my office, closed the door, sat at my desk. 8 months ago, she had been my fiancée. This morning, she had been a CV on a shortlist. 40 minutes ago, she had been a candidate in an interview room. She had described leaving me as a professional development lesson. The correct response to all of this was nothing. Nothing was the only response with any dignity in it. I picked up my pen, went back to work. Chapter 6. My head of talent made the decision without me. She reviewed all 6 candidates. She consulted the 2 other panel members. She sent me the recommendation on Friday morning with a note at the top. Conflict of interest acknowledged. Decision made independently. Vera ranked second. The role goes to candidate 3, stronger operational experience, better fit for the current team structure. I read it, approved it, forwarded it to my assistant to send the outcome letters. Clean, professional, done. Vera's rejection letter went out Friday afternoon. She called my direct number at 417. I looked at the screen, the new number, the one from the Sunday morning message. I let it ring. It rang 7 times, then stopped. No voicemail. She had wanted to talk, first the Sunday message, now the call. She had something to say and she was finding the doors closed. I did not feel satisfaction about this. I felt nothing in particular. The door being closed was not a decision I had made in anger. It was a door that had simply stopped being mine to open. At 5, Nora knocked on the office door. She came in with 2 cups of coffee, set one on my desk, sat in the chair across from me. "How are you?" Not the social version, the real one. "Fine." The real version. I looked at her, gray eyes, warm, paying full attention. "Fine, actually fine, not performed fine." She looked at me for a moment, then she nodded. Picked up her coffee, looked at the campaign deck on my desk. "The Friday numbers are in, the 3rd week of the campaign. You should look at them." I pulled up the dashboard. The numbers were significantly better than projected. She had built the campaign, her thinking, her execution, her team. The numbers were the result of someone who was exceptionally good at what they did and who had been given the space to do it properly. "These are very good." She did not say thank you. She said, "I know." I almost smiled, then I did. We worked until 8, then she packed up her bag, stood at the door. "The drawer." I looked up. "You have a drawer you have not opened in 8 months. You should open it." She knew about the drawer. I had mentioned it once, 2 months ago, in passing. She had filed it and said nothing, until now. "I know." Tonight. She left. Chapter 7. The office was empty at 9. The building had that specific quiet of a place that had been full of people and was now only itself. I sat at my desk. Looked at the bottom left drawer. I had not opened it in 8 months, not because I was preserving something, because I had not needed anything in it. The drawer contained the ring and 3 old contracts and a charger for a phone I no longer had. I opened it. The ring was in a small box, white box, the jeweler's name on the top. I took it out. Opened the box. A simple ring. She had said she did not want something flashy. 2 years I had believed most things she told me. I had believed the ring. The ring was not a wound anymore. It was just a ring, a small object in a box, worth what it was worth, not more. I closed the box. Took out my phone. Called the jeweler, left a message asking about the consignment process. The ring was good quality. Someone else would want it. It did not need to sit in a drawer. I put the box in my coat pocket. Stood up. Looked around the empty office. 8 months ago, a woman had disappeared without explanation. I had spent 8 days trying to find her. Then I had gone back to work. Then I had met someone who ate half my noodles and never mentioned it. Then the woman who disappeared had walked into my interview room. Then the drawer had stayed closed. Now the drawer was open. The ring was in my pocket. The numbers from the campaign were significantly better than projected. This was what moving on actually looked like. Not a dramatic moment, not a speech, just a drawer that was finally ready to be opened. I turned off the office light. Went home. Chapter 8. Vera sent an email on Monday. To my professional address, formal. She said she understood the role had gone to another candidate. She said she had a separate matter she wanted to discuss. She asked for 15 minutes. I forwarded it to my assistant. Please respond that I am not available for personal meetings with former candidates. Standard policy. The assistant sent it. Clean, professional policy. Vera appeared at the building reception on Wednesday. She did not have an appointment. She told the receptionist she was there to see me. The receptionist called upstairs. I was in a board meeting. My assistant came down. Vera waited 40 minutes. My assistant came back down and told her I was unavailable and that future visit requests should go through the standard scheduling process. Vera left. She was persistent. I had always known this about her. In the relationship, it had been a quality I admired. She finished things. She followed through. She did not leave things incomplete. Except once, she had left one thing completely incomplete, without warning, without explanation, without a forwarding address. The persistence that showed up 8 months later was not the same as the persistence I had admired. This was the persistence of someone trying to reopen a door. The door was not locked. It was simply no longer mine. On Thursday, Nora was in my office when my assistant knocked. Vera was at reception again. Nora looked at me across the desk. I will go. You do not have to. I know. She closed her laptop, went to the door, stopped. What do you want me to tell her? What did I want her to tell her? Nothing. There was nothing to tell. There was nothing left to say that had not already been said through the closed doors and the policy emails and the 40 minutes in reception. Nothing, tell her nothing, ask her to leave. Nora nodded, left. 10 minutes later, she came back. Sat down, opened her laptop. She left. Thank you. She wanted me to give you something. I told her I could not accept personal items on your behalf. Standard policy. Standard policy. She had used my own language back at the situation. Clean, professional, protective without being aggressive. I looked at her. You are very good at this. I know. She went back to her screen. I went back to mine. Chapter 9. A Friday evening, the office empty. The campaign numbers had come in for the 4th week. Better again. Nora was at her desk across the hall. I could see her through the glass. Red hair loose now, gray eyes on her screen, working on something that had her full attention. This was what I had been looking at for 3 months, not the performance of someone being impressive, the actual thing, a person who was exactly what she appeared to be in every room and at every hour of the day. I went to her office, knocked on the open door. She looked up. The drawer. She waited. I opened it. The ring is at the jeweler. It is being consigned. She looked at me for a moment. Good. I want to say something else. She set her pen down. For 3 months I have been watching you do your job. You are the best person in this building at what you do. You are also the only person in this building who has never once treated me like a title. You treat me like a person. I had forgotten what that felt like. I do not want to forget it again. Silence. Nora looked at the desk for a moment, then at me. I want to be clear about something. I waited. I am going to say yes to whatever you are about to ask, but I want you to know I was going to say yes 3 weeks ago. I was waiting for the drawer. She had been waiting for the drawer. She had known about the drawer for 2 months. She had said tonight on the evening I needed to hear it. She had waited until it was actually finished before she was willing to start. That was Nora. She did not move until the ground was solid. When she moved, she was certain. I said Saturday. Saturday. She picked up her pen, went back to her screen. I went back to mine. Chapter 10. 6 months after the interview. The company had grown, 63 employees now. The campaign Nora had built in month 3 was the foundation of a strategy that had doubled the company's market visibility in 2 quarters. The board used the word exceptional. I used the word obvious. She had been exceptional from the first interview. We were professional at work, entirely. No performance of separation, just actual professionalism, the kind that did not need to announce itself because it was simply what it was. Outside work, we were something else. Not loudly, not performatively. Just real. On a Tuesday evening 6 months after the interview, I was at my desk, and Nora was on the sofa in the corner of my office reading something. She had started doing this in month 4, working in the same room, not together, adjacently, the presence without the intrusion. She looked up. Vera sent another message. I knew I had seen it that morning, the new number again, a message. She had heard through someone that I was with someone now. She said she understood. She said she had something important to tell me, something I deserved to know. I saw it. Are you going to respond? No. Nora looked at me for a moment. There might be something she genuinely needs to tell you. There might be. I had thought about that. She had said something I deserved to know. That phrasing was specific. It could mean anything. It could mean nothing. It could mean something that would have mattered 8 months ago and did not matter now. If there is something I need to know, it will find me eventually. Things that matter find you. The ones that do not matter also find you, but you do not have to receive them. Nora looked at the book in her hands. That is either very wise or very convenient. Both. She almost smiled, then she did, the real one. Went back to the book. I looked at my desk. The bottom left drawer was closed. Empty now, the ring was gone. The old contracts had been filed. The charger for the phone I no longer had been thrown away. Just a drawer. Just a closed drawer that did not need to be opened. 8 months ago, a woman disappeared without explanation. I spent 8 days trying to find her. Then I went back to work. Then I met someone who told me the drawer needed to be opened. Then I opened it. Then I let go of what was in it. The something I deserved to know. Maybe there was something. Maybe Vera had a reason, a real one, the kind that would have made everything make sense if I had heard it 8 months ago. Maybe. It did not matter anymore, not because I was still hurting and refusing to listen, because I was genuinely all right, and the being all right did not require the explanation to be complete. Nora closed her book, looked at me across the office. Come home. Not my home, our home, 3 months ago, gradually, without announcement. I closed the laptop, stood up, put on my coat, looked at the closed drawer one more time. Just a drawer. I turned off the lights. We left. The street outside was honest, cold and specific, and completely indifferent to everything that had happened in the building above it. Nora's hand found mine on the pavement, without either of us making a decision about it. We walked. That was everything. That was more than enough.